Directors is proud to support Faribault Community Television.
This is Gary at KFC in Faribault, Minnesota here. I'm a proud sponsor of FCTV.
Hello everyone, thanks for watching Faribault Community Television. It's the month of July. Summer's maybe half over, Gene Brewer. We're getting close anyway.
Half, it's just started.
Yeah, it seems like so. First United, we thank them for helping us out this month. Let's talk about construction. 4th Street's a little bit torn up, and how we're going to get to First United with the next couple weeks or months or so.
Well, through the month of July, our drive-up is going to be closed down from 4th.
Right.
So that'll be accessed actually from 4th Avenue. Okay. And they'll come through and they'll loop through, and we'll probably only have one drive-up lane open, and then they'll basically go out through our employee parking lot, so we won't have people running into each other.
The big thing is they can get here from different places. They just have to reroute and change what they do on a normal basis.
Yeah, we've got 3 areas where you can access the property, from the north side, and then people can come into the bank, because we're going to block off the parking lot that people come into the bank from, so that there won't be cross traffic coming through, so it'll be safer for people getting out of their cars and that type of thing.
It's going to be a change for a couple of months, maybe summer months. Could be a busy time, but it's doable. So.
Yeah, it's about 6 weeks that the drive-up will be closed down, and the construction for that was well past due, so we're pretty excited for the improvement that it's going to happen.
It'd be like the viaduct when we lost the viaduct for a while. We say, how terrible it was, and then it got done, and hey, it's pretty nice out here.
It is pretty nice, so we're excited about it.
We'll be back with Gene Brewer, First United, in a bit.
Hey everybody, it's me, Miss Denny, your favorite children's librarian. I'm here in the library's youth activity area, about to tell you everything happening here at the library for youth and families in July. Whew, it's July already, oh my goodness. Well, story time is still going strong. We meet every Tuesday night at 6:30 and Wednesday and Thursday mornings at 10:30 for stories, songs, early literacy tips, and a lot of fun. Storytime is meant for children from birth through age 6 with an actively participating adult caregiver present. But of course, everyone is welcome and no registration is required. Storytime continues all the way up through August 8, with the exception that there will be no storytime on July 4 because the library is closed for obvious reasons. And also, there's no storytime on August 6. That is our Night to Unite party. So I hope that you'll still come to the library and join us for that. Lots and lots of fun to be had at the Night to Unite party. Our 2 book clubs obviously aren't meeting over the summer. Those will start back up again in September with school starting back up again. So Books and Brownies and Pizza and Pages, watch for those dates to be announced later on towards the end of the summer when we get back to the time when school starts. But Book Buds will be going on throughout July, meets every Thursday from 4:30 to 5. And Book Buds is our Reading Buddies program. Very informal, meant to just be super fun and encourage a love of reading and foster some new friendships. So what happens is you just show up and I match you up with one of our older teen and tween volunteers, and the younger kid can read to the older kid, or older kid can read to the younger kid, or they can take turns reading together. And it's, like I said, just for a lot of fun. So Thursdays from 4:30 to 5. Our Teen Advisory Board will meet in July on July 10, that's a Monday, 4:30 to 5 o'clock, and TAB, as we call it, Teen Advisory Board, short for or we call it TAB for short. We will meet July 10, and that is for grades 6 through 12. If you're interested in joining us and thinking of ways to make the library even more awesome for youth, please get a hold of me. Our summer library program is in full swing. It kicked off way back at the end of May, and you can still stop in the library anytime and pick up a reading and activity log and get going on your reading goals for the summer. You have until the end of August the 31st to be exact, to turn in your log for rewards and the accolades that go along with getting your name in the newspaper. And then, of course, there's all summer long we've had great programs happening. This is our summer brochure. It has all the details, some of which I already talked about and a little bit more that I'm about to. Our Friday programs in July we have coming up are Brodini, a comedy magic show. That's on July 5th. And Tui, the comic stunt juggler, will be here July 12th. National Eagle Center is bringing a real live bald eagle on July 19. Pint-size polkas with Uncle Mike Schneider will be rocking the Great Hall on July 26. Tonks and the Oars will be here in concert on July 31st for all my fellow Harry Potter fans. August 2nd, we'll have Riverbend Nature Center bringing their animal ambassadors. And then, like I said earlier, August 6th is our Night to Unite party in the parking lot, hopefully, weather pending. My friends, there is so much going on. If you need more details on any of these programs, please stop in the library, pick up one of these brochures, check us out online on our website or our Facebook page. Give me a call, shoot me an email, ask me questions. One more thing going on in July is a movie Mondays. Those happen every Monday in July. There are 5 Mondays in July. Movies will begin at 3 p.m. in the Great Hall. All the movies will be family friendly and rated G or PG. So everyone is welcome to join us for those movies, but children under the age of 8 must be accompanied by an adult. That is actually the library's policy at all times. Children under the age of 8 have to have an adult with them, keeping a close eye on them. All right, if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about in this little brief clip, please give me a call, shoot me an email, stop in the library, and be sure to like us on Facebook so you can stay up to date on everything happening here at the library. Take care.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Cassie from the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce.
We've got some exciting things going on here at the Chamber. We're always very busy helping and doing things for our community. And one of the things we're working on right now is the second year of our Artists on Main Street grants. And we're very excited to announce 9 artists that are being funded this year for fun projects in the downtown district. You'll be finding Jessica Prill's Creative Crawl on Central Avenue in conjunction with the Car Cruise Nights. So the next one will be July 19th. You can find artisans out doing demonstrations and showcasing their wares along Central Avenue. Dana Hansen is working to create a piece entitled Faribault's Founding Fathers that will ultimately be on display at the Faribault Public Library. Jillian Steger will be doing Sidewalk Surprises, creating uplifting messages and imagery along the sidewalks of downtown Faribault. Joey Feaster is doing fantasy landscapes with design elements on acrylic pieces on the fence panels in the historic district. George Ponticus is creating Flight of Colors, a sculpture of a colorful hummingbird to be placed at Buckham Memorial Library. Marsha Morris Beck is directing Playing with Theater, a children's theater program which launches its first one. It's the Virtues Family Nights in the Virtues Trail along Heritage Park, and you can find those online as well as at faribaultmainstreet.org. Troy Greenslade worked with the past, present, and future of Faribault to create a beautiful mural showcasing images of Faribault residents from today and yesterday, currently on display at the Faribault Diversity Coalition. Dee Bjork is creating a permanent project called the Peony Capital of the World. It will be a mural project on the back side of the Village Theater building. And Judy Say Willis is working on Coming Together Part 2. It's fabric installations in vacant storefront windows, sparking imagination. And those are this year's Artists on Main Street projects that will be popping up throughout the summer, adding color, vibrancy, and fun to the downtown district.
As always, there's tons of fun in Faribault. In July, we have our annual Pars and Stripe golf tournament. Hit me up if you need to register your foursome. That's July 15th, 12 o'clock at the Legacy Golf Club. Also in July, the Rice County Fair. Faribault is the star city, and we're excited to host our annual Rice County Fair. Wednesday, we will be hosting a 507 Connect, complete with a pie eating contest. So make sure to come and check out all of your Faribault favorites eating pie. And then Thursday is our business after hours chamber mixer, and that will be at the Beer Gardens, and that's hosted by the Rice County Fair.
Another initiative out of Faribault Main Street, the design committee has worked on crafting these beautiful benches. These are available for sponsorship in 5-year or 25-year increments. We have 25 different designs, but sponsorships are selling fast with just a few remaining. So if you, as a family, an individual, or a business are interested in helping sponsor and support the implementation of these beautiful benches telling our community's history, reach out to me at the chamber. Our number is 334-4381. You can also contact me and find my email on our website, faribaultmn.org. It's summertime and there's a lot of fun events going on. In addition to the Rice County Fair and some of the other activities, Blue Collar Barbecue and Arts Festival comes to town August 10th with 12 hours of live music filling the streets, artisans, food vendors, a cornhole tournament, and more. The night before that, you'll find more fun with one of the Faribault Main Street car cruise nights, which also features the Creative Crawl. But we're gonna be having a band that night, so come on down Friday, August 9th, from 6 to 9 p.m. to Central Avenue in downtown Faribault, then come back the next day for the Blue Collar Barbecue and Arts Festival. We hope to see you there.
Visit us at 530 Wilson Avenue anytime if you have questions about membership or anything else going on in our community.
It's Molly here at Riverbend Nature Center. Welcome to the middle of summer. In July, Riverbend has a bunch of great offerings, great programs that you can be a part of here in July. We still have plenty of spots left in our summer camp programs, so come on out. Just a few highlights of the summer camps in July include for first and second graders, Disco Fever, as well as Predator Prey and Water Warriors. For our 3rd through 5th graders, we have lots of summer camps including Adventure is Out There Day, Can You Dig It, Spy Training, and Water Warriors as well. So sign up those kids for camp. We also have Adventures Out There Camp for our 6th through 8th graders. That's a really fun camp where we go ziplining, rock climbing, canoeing, and swimming throughout the week. So sign those kids up and have them come on out for a really good time this summer. We also have public programs this summer. On July 6th, we have Pond Insect Safari for families, where you can come on out and learn about all of the critters living in our ponds here at Riverbend. On July 13th, we have Bagels and Birds. That's a free public program to enjoy bagels and coffee while viewing birds from inside our interpretive center. We also have on July 13th and 14th, we have our Stewardship Days, Persnickety Parsnip. So come on out and help us remove parsnip, wild parsnip. It's an invasive plant, and so you can learn all about that and help us pull it. On Thursday, July 18th, we have a really fun program called the Family Float. So you register through us and meet us out at North Alexander Park for an evening learning how to canoe and kayak along the river. Wednesday, July 17th is Owl's Lunch and Learn, and this month's topic is on raising monarch butterflies. So naturalist Katie Andrig we'll be talking about how to raise monarch butterflies and some of the controversial topics surrounding raising monarch butterflies. On Saturday, July 20th, we have a family program on raising monarch butterflies. So that's geared more towards kids. So learning about raising monarch butterflies, but then also a kid craft to go along with that. On Friday, July 26th, we have our summer homeschool science day, where we have 2 age-specific topics in the morning, and then in the afternoon, our recreational component will be canoeing at North Alexander Park. And then finally, on Saturday, July 27th, we have our free public program, Hike and Hygge, where you can come on out to the Nature Center and have a nice leisurely hike with a naturalist pointing out the signs of summer, and then relax inside our interpretive center afterwards. We hope to see you out at Riverbend this summer, and have a great rest of your summer.
Hi, Dr. Michael Ritchie, Ritchie Eye Clinic. Thanks for joining me. So, you know, one of the most common questions I get over and over is, what's astigmatism? So what I want to do today is take a little bit of time and just review for you what these terms mean. They're very simple. Once you have a concept, pretty easy to understand. Let's start with the 2 big things people know about. We call it myopia and hyperopia. Myopia, you can see near. People refer to this as nearsightedness. Not an accurate term, but it's a descriptive term. Hyperopia, far is better. People commonly refer to this as farsightedness. But it doesn't mean that you can't see near. So let's take them one at a time. Myopia, I drew a picture. If light enters the eye, it gets focused by the cornea and by the lens. That focused light comes to a focal point too quickly. It should focus back here at the retina, but it focuses right here. So by the time the light rays reach the nerve tissue, they're separated. So this is blurred vision. Now, so let's assume we have an object out here that we are looking at. As that object moves closer to you, this focal point also moves this way. So you can see that as that distant object moves closer, at some point it's going to be in focus. So people who are myopic have trouble seeing far away, but the closer something comes, it gets sharper to a point. Because if this is ideal and the object comes closer still, it's going to push that focal point this way, and you might blur out again. All right? That's myopia. Light is focused by the curvature of the cornea. The steeper the curve, the sharper, or the harder or more that it focuses, the stronger focusing power, the more likely to be myopic. So what's hyperopia? That would be the opposite. Here we have too much focusing power, or the cornea is too steep. Here, we don't have enough. Or the cornea is too flat. So when light enters the eye, it doesn't focus fast enough. The focal point is this imaginary spot behind the eye. Why is it imaginary? Because the light never gets there. It hits the retina, and again, it's blurred, just like here. But it's blurred for a different reason. Now, let's take this same object, and if we move it closer, what's going to happen to this focal point? It's going to move farther away, so it's going to get more and more blurry. So people who are hyperopic might be able to see distance, but the closer you bring something, the more blurry it's going to get. That's where the term farsightedness comes from. Now, obviously, this isn't entirely a blanket statement, because the eye has the ability to accommodate. And accommodation is the adjustability in the eye. The eye's innate ability to adjust the focus. So let's say we have the normal situation here. This is an eye that is not myopic and not hyperopic. Light rays that enter the eye focus perfectly on the retina. Now, remember what I said here. If we move things towards the eye, that focal point is going to go this way. But there's this little thing inside the eye called the lens. And the lens has the ability to adjust. As the object comes closer, the lens can fine-tune the adjustment. That means that if the object's moving this way, the focal point's going to go that way, but the lens can adjust it to bring it back. Okay? Now, that characteristic also applies up here. So some people who are hyperopic, the lens has the ability to adjust this way. So hyperopic people can see far away. And as the object comes closer and this focal point moves this way, they may still be able to see it. It all depends on the degree of hyperopia and the amount of accommodation. But does accommodation help the nearsighted person, the myope? The answer to that is no, because accommodation moves the focal point this way, and we need it to go that way. So accommodation helps people who don't need glasses. We call these people ametropes. It can help hyperopes so that they may or may not need glasses as well. But then there's that question I always get. What about astigmatism? So astigmatism is a description of shape. When we're talking all of these over here, hyperopia and myopia, we assume that the cornea is spherical. What's the definition of a sphere? The definition of a sphere is that no matter how you look at it, the curvature is all the same. Light is focused based on curvature. What if you take the eye, squeeze it together just a little bit, it's not spherical anymore. It's oblong or oval. What's the characteristic of an oval? An oval has a long flat curve one way and a short steep curve the other way. Now those curves are like this in an oval. Maybe the long curve this way and the short curve this way, but when light enters the eye, we live in a three-dimensional world. So some of the light will focus at one point, some is going to focus right here, but others are going to focus there. So we end up with two different focal points. Doesn't matter if it's an object far away or close up. That's astigmatism. It will blur vision. It will blur vision for distance. It will blur vision for near. You can still have an eye with accommodation, but accommodation can't fix this either. All right? Now, one final word. We call that presbyopia. Presbyopia, very simple. It's the loss of accommodation. So unfortunately, only young, healthy eyes can accommodate to adjust the focus. Once we hit our 40s, we lose that. That's why everybody in their 40s needs a reader, a bifocal, something. Why do we lose accommodation? Very simple. It is the lens in the eye that accommodates. As we age, the lens yellows. The yellowing process of the lens, similar to hair going gray, we call the yellowing of the lens a cataract. So the very first symptom of a cataract, I need readers, I need a bifocal. It's not yellowed enough to interfere with vision, except it's caused a loss of your accommodation. Now, a lot of words, a lot of pictures. This is a lot of physics. My apologies, but I hope this makes some sense. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm your pharmacy manager at Hy-Vee in Faribault. Today I'm going to talk to you about some different problems that can happen from exposure being outside during these summer months. We're finally getting some nice warm days. They're even predicting some 80 degree, 90 degree temperatures coming up. So we're going to have to, think about what we're doing outside so that we can stay healthy during that time. So there's two things that can happen, that when you're exposed to really high temperatures, and those are heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And so those are different in ways that heat exhaustion, usually you can take care of that at home, and heat stroke, you would need to be seen by a medical professional. Also sunburn, can happen while you're out as well, and preventing a sunburn can actually help prevent you from getting heat exhaustion. So those kind of go hand in hand. So making sure you wear sunscreen when you're outside can help prevent, heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Going outside when it's not the peak temperature of the day, so that time, around noon, the sun is the highest, it's the hottest that it's going to be. So waiting until 5 p.m. to go do things outside, or doing them right away in the morning, can be the best to prevent heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion can be just a mild illness that might make you just feel really exhausted and tired. You might have a lot of sweating, you might feel kind of weak, you might feel a little faint, and that can be recovered by getting indoors, into the air conditioning, out of the sun. If you can't get out of the sun, seeking some shade can help with that, and then drinking some water can help as well. Staying hydrated throughout the time that you're outdoors and indoors can help prevent heat exhaustion as well. Now, once you've gotten past the heat exhaustion, that can turn into heat stroke. So if you're feeling nauseous, dizzy, and you just don't feel well while you're outside, and you continue on, that can turn into some serious medical event, and you would need to call 911. At that point of heat stroke, you stop sweating. So if you notice that someone is very warm to the touch, but they're not sweating at all, which is not a normal response to heat, that could be a sign that they're suffering from heat stroke, and you should call 911 or take them in to emergency care right away. It's not something, once they get to that point where they're not sweating anymore, they might even be hallucinating. It's not something you're going to be able to reverse with just getting into the air conditioning and getting them hydrated. So get them in to see some medical attention at that point. But if you ever have a question, the pharmacy is open, 12 hours a day during the week and 8 hours a day on the weekends, and you're kind of wondering if someone's falling into that line and what to do next, feel free to give a call to your pharmacist. We can let you know if you need to go in and be seen for further attention, and we can also help you pick out some great sunscreens that we have available in our store to help prevent sunburn as well. So thank you very much, and stop by and see us.
Back with Gene Ford, First United Bank, and Gene, we talked about the role. Let's talk about banking for a little bit, and
Okay.
what rates are doing and what's going on in the banking world. So,
Well, rates are starting to come down again. I mean, they never really got high, but the mortgage rates, comparatively speaking, but the mortgage rates are starting to come down again. There's actually rates that are in the 3s.
okay. So it's a good time. You are looking to refinance or buy a new house.
Buy or build, or I mean, There's a lot of nice new lots out there in town that if you go up by the Legacy, there's a lot of nice lots out there. So people who want to construct, Faribault's got some nice places.
Have you seen construction on the uptick for the summertime, or what have you seen right now in the city?
We haven't really seen a lot of new construction in Faribault. It's picking up a little bit, I think, at this point. I guess we're hoping it'll start picking up because we do have a housing shortage, but you need to have people move out of the existing housing in order to create,
Right.
some for the affordable housing for people.
We see apartments being built or thinking about being built, so there are people looking at units anyway. So.
Yeah, I was just reading that we only have a 1% vacancy in apartments, which is extremely low.
Right.
And there are several apartments that are in the works that look like are going to get built in town. So that could be another 40, 80 units, which will be helpful.
So if people are looking for a good rate, we invite them to stop here first thing on the bank.
Absolutely. Like I said, the rates are coming down. We've been really busy in our mortgage department as people have been buying homes, and it really is a good time to be financing.
Who should they stop in to see if they want to talk about?
We got Chris O'Neill and Deb Nelson handle our mortgages, and they do a really super job.
Stop in and see the good folks at First United Bank.
Hi, my name is Greg Payne with United Investment Group. We're building a monument of trust through education and communication on financial discussions through FCTV. So we're shooting this for the month of July. It's crazy that the summer is here and gone as fast as it is. But what we're going to talk about for the month of July here is fee-based financial advisor compensation. So I'm a full disclosure broker, so I like to have all of my clients understand exactly how they pay me for my advice. And financial advisor compensation as a whole is a really complicated topic. It's changed over time, but this has become very popular. Fee-based financial advisor compensation has been a very popular method in the last 3 or 4 years. It dates back probably 10 or 15 that it started to come into fruition with financial advisors. So I kind of wanted to go through this. This is probably about 3/4 of my book of business. This is how my clients choose to base our relationship from a compensation perspective. So I wanted to go through on an account and just break down the fees. So if you had a $100,000 account, the annual assets under management fee would be 1%, times 100,000 times 1% is $1,000 per year. Now when we get into the account and the actual transactions, what happens is it happens each quarter. So you divide 1% by 4 quarters, 0.25 per quarter, $250 a quarter. Now the math doesn't always work out that way exactly, because what the software does inside the account is it collects the average daily balance for all the days of the quarter and then multiplies it by that 0.25% to kick out what that fee is. So if the balance goes up, then the fee would be a little bit more than $250. If the balance goes down, the fee would be a little bit less, and it just adjusts that each quarter. Now most accounts like this have a to-the-day type pricing. So if you go in the middle of the quarter, you don't get charged for the full quarter, or if you decide to take your money somewhere else and do a different solution, it's charged up to the day. It's prorated, if you will. So in this type of an account, there is no upfront commissions. This is fee-based financial advisor, or fee-based financial advisor compensation. There's no commissions on top of it, okay? And in this type of relationship, you get financial planning included. So A lot of people like to go this way because the financial advisor is not compensated every single time a phone call is made. And it seems to align the advisor and the client relationship. So the advisor is trying to grow those assets within the client's risk tolerance, and the advisor has a fiduciary responsibility to do the right thing for the client in this type of relationship. So the financial planning that is included in this is what is referred to as wealth planning. So here at United Investment Group, we call it our UIG Wealth Planning Guide. Wealth planning for short. And in that guide, we include a lot of things. This is a quick list of those things. So the net worth statement. So we try to build a net worth statement for our clients because we can figure out if we have the proper account titles on every single account. That goes to your real estate, to your checkings, your savings, your 401k accounts, your cars, everything. If you have the proper beneficiaries, bennies for short, primary and contingent, the tax categories of each account, whether it's a pre-tax account, a non-qualified account, or a Roth IRA, which I call post-tax. We document that on the net worth statement. And then your financial planning projections. So we have this amount of money today, or these amount of assets today, and if we have an assumed rate of return, or we contribute to certain accounts each month, we can make financial projections what those might be out 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, depending on how long you plan on contributing and growing that before you'd go into a distribution phase. So another big item would be a budget side. So honestly, I wish more of my clients were better budgeters. A lot of them want to see the income side at some time in the future, so we won't do the expense side to begin with. I do have certain clients that do want to have a bi-weekly budget so that they can track everything. So we've got a software program on that where we can punch numbers in, and it shows us, our income and our expenses and how much we have left over after each time frame, whether that's bi-weekly or monthly. Investment management. So you're paying for the investment management through this account and getting these things on top of it. That's why it makes it a little bit weird, because some people have more money and less money, and they're getting kind of these same things on the other side. So it's a bit of a complicated puzzle to figure out. But that investment management is for each account. So I call it our investment management 360-degree analysis. So each account that you would have, whether that's a Roth or an outside 401k or just a non-qualified account or a traditional IRA, we would have a 360-degree investment analysis for each account, where we go into those accounts and we document all the performance, how much money has gone in, what money has come out, what the profit loss is on each account, what your annual rate of returns are, and then we try to benchmark each investment to see, if the investments that you have are high quality and how they rate out. And then the final thing that we would do is an insurance analysis, and that would be really for life insurance, long-term care, and short-term and long-term disability, to see if you have the proper insurance to protect your family against a bad situation. So although the compensation comes really on the investment account, these are the sorts of things that your advisor, at least that we do here at United Investment Group, we offer these things to each one of our clients if they'd like to take advantage of those. So it's kind of you pay here, but you get these things on top of that. Now, the way that we do that is we have a standard operating procedure for United Investment Group that each person gets meetings set up throughout the year. We send a letter at the beginning of January, and we put dates on the calendar, usually around the time that you've opened your account, or depending on your work schedule, your time availability, we try to work with consistent dates just about every 6 months so that we have kind of a checkup on how we're doing on gathering this information and how that plan is coming together. And we just keep those consistent, and we call out to our customers and remind them that, hey, here's your appointment a few days or a week in advance. And if it doesn't work, we just kind of shift the schedule around so that we consistently see our clients and make sure that everything is being updated appropriately, and we're monitoring our progress. So again, fee-based financial advisor compensation, and it's an assets under management percentage. So these on the right side are the things that should be along with the advisor compensation that you're paying your person. And I guess if you don't know about this, I would certainly ask your advisor how they're compensated. There is a couple other ways. For the month of July, I wanted to go through this one because it's very common and it's a big portion of my business. But ask your financial advisor. You should know how you compensate that person, and you should find value in it. And if you don't know, or you want a second opinion, then I would be more than happy to do that. So again, my name is Greg Payne with United Investment Group. We're building a monument of trust through education and communication on financial topics just like this.
Welcome to the Rice County Historical Society. My name is Amanda Roberts and I'm the curator here. So welcome back to our collection storage room. This is the compact shelving we've been talking about a couple times so far. So we've been putting some things on the shelves, and I thought we'd just kind of give you an update about what we've been up to. All right, so this row is M1 is what we've labeled it. We've kind of numbered our sections, our rows in here. So this is our static wide span shelving. It means we can put a lot of wide things on it, and it's also heavy duty, so it supports a lot of weight. So here we have a collection of bison bones we've added to our collection. And as we move further back in here, you can see we've got some furniture on here, and the wide span is rather unique in that it has these drop panels, which we've used in this last section in order to fit a couple taller chairs into this shelving without having to move the shelf itself all the way up to here. As I believe we've mentioned before, this is compact shelving, meaning that I can turn the handle and roll the entire shelving unit over. This means that we can fit much more shelving space in here because we only need to leave space for one aisle. So this we have M3 and M4, and you'll notice we've got these kind of elevation drawings of the shelves, which include a map of where all of our collections are on the shelves for easy access and retrievability. So this side is for organizational records. So for example, this shelf and up in this section is all a part of a collection that we received several years ago from the Order of the Eastern Star. We have other records here from the Friends of the Buckham Library, the Red Cross, and plenty of room for organizational records that we have yet to put on the shelving. As I believe I mentioned on our last tour through here several months ago, this section and then the section on the other side of this row has hanging storage up on top. We've got clothes racks, clothing rods. This section is devoted to our military collection. We have a lot of World War II uniforms upstairs, and up in our current storage space, which will be coming down onto these racks. At the moment, most of these that are up here are post-World War II and Vietnam uniforms. We have trays underneath where we can keep some objects related to our military collection. We have some hats in there. Here we have a dinner tray from, I believe it was a submarine. Down this aisle, on the other side of our military section, is more hanging storage. So for example, this first section is for clubs and organizations, which includes sports teams. So we have our hanging textiles there. We have the shelves below. For example, this box is a boxed band uniform from Morristown. And in these trays, again, we have loose objects, such as in this tray, a football signed by Bruce Smith. A lot of our collection of two-dimensional objects is framed. So here we have some bin storage. There was a small mix-up with the order. We're still waiting for some vertical dividers, but here you can see what it'll look like when it's finished. So we have all of our framed objects gently leaning against each other with archival foam buffers when needed to protect the objects from each other. As you'll note, on all of our shelves, we currently have these blue tape labels. These are temporary labels because the shelves are still being moved around to make sure that there's space for all of the collections, and sometimes the shelves are actually being moved to completely different sections of the shelving. When all of the shelves are in place, these will be replaced with permanent labels to make sure that we can always find the objects that we're looking for. This final aisle is M11, and this is where we've been keeping government records. You can see we've got some county ledgers, we have tax records, and then we have some boxed township records. Right now what we have shelved is Cannon City and Wheeling records. We do have records from several other townships that will be making their way back here to make them more accessible. These collections are accessible to staff, to select volunteers, and to visitors by appointment. So, please stop by and we'll see if we can help you find what you're looking for. We are the Rice County Historical Society, located at 1814 2nd Avenue Northwest in Faribault, Minnesota, on the east side of the fairgrounds. We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. You can find us online at www.rchistory.org or call us at 507-332-2121. Rice County Historical Society, preserving the past for future generations.
First United Bank and the Junior Board of Directors is proud to support Faribault Community Television.
This is Gary at KFC in Faribault, Minnesota here. I'm a proud sponsor of FCTV.
Well, that's going to do it for July here at First United Bank. Gibor, we talked about construction earlier. There are ways to get to First United even with all that's going on here. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be kind of a pain for people for a while. But, it's an improvement to our city, and I guess sometimes we just have to take one for the group,
But we do want to say that drive-up will be accessible all through the time.
Absolutely.
Maybe only one lane, but there will be time you can get to the drive-up.
Absolutely, and it gives you an opportunity to come into the bank too. I mean, sometimes you'll meet some people you probably haven't seen before. So, with internet banking and the drive-ups and stuff like that, we really don't get to see customers a lot of times. So it might be a good time to come and meet us.
So, despite the construction, despite everything, stop in and see the good folks, whether it's a drive-up or come into the bank.
Absolutely.
All right.